You might also get a task to convert your string to a title case, and actually it may be tricky. This is why it is really good that here we got provided test cases. So actually we must build a function title case, and when we're providing inside I am a little teapot, we should return a string and it should be capitalized. And as you can see, every single word here is capitalized, not only the first word, and this is important. Also, it doesn't matter how we provide our string, it must be capitalized correctly. So let's build this function now. And actually again we have two possibilities here. We can use for loop or we can use native JavaScript methods. So first of all, let's write it by using for loop. So here we are creating title case method and we are getting string as an argument. And first of all, we want to create here an array, so we have every single character here. So we can write here that our string equals string to lowercase, split, and here will be one space. So actually here we are writing array inside string. And actually I'm writing code like this because I want to show you how you should not write your code. And it's not just about logic here that we're using for loop, but regarding what you are doing. As you can see, first of all, the bad practice here is to use the same argument like we have here. We overrode our argument inside, which means first of all we might modify it. Yes, it's not the case with the string, but it will be like this with arrays or objects, because we are modifying a reference. Secondly, here we are getting back an array, but here we are writing it inside string, which makes it confusing. And both these things you must not do in your code or in interview, because with this you are showing that you are writing bad code. So much better approach here will be to create additional property, array, or whatever you want, and here we are getting string to lowercase split, and we are totally fine. After this we must write for loop, so here we can just write plain native for loop, which I also don't advise. So here we can write var I equals 0, I less than string length, and here I++. And of course here is not string but our array. So here inside now we can mutate every single element, so we can write here array I equals, and here we have the same element dot character add 0, and actually what it does, it takes the first element of our string. In our case, every single element of our array is a string, and here we are getting the first letter, so we can capitalize it. And with this we are writing to uppercase, which is also a native method inside JavaScript, and here we can write array I dot slice 1. And in this case we are getting all our elements of the string except of the first letter. This is what we want. We want to capitalize the first letter and then just take all other letters. And after this we can simply join back our array. So we're writing here return array join, and we're joining it by space. Now we can write here console log, we're calling here title case, and we're providing inside our string I'm a little teapot. Let's check if it's working. I'm reloading the page and we're getting I'm a little teapot, which actually looks fine, and we solved the task. But first of all, we used here native for, and as I previously said, it's not the best approach. If we're looping through every single element of the array, at least you must use for each, for array, and not native for, then your code will be better. Second thing that I don't like here is that we're overriding every single element of our array, which actually means we are not creating a new array, but we are overriding the previous one, and it is also not the best approach. This is why let's rewrite this whole code just by using plain JavaScript methods, because actually here we don't even need for loop at all. So what I want to do here, I want to take our string and I want to convert it to lowercase. This was totally fine. After this we want to split it with space. This was also totally fine. But after this we can use map, because essentially what we are doing here is a map. We want to change every single element inside our array. This is why I'm calling map, and we are getting here our word. And actually, as you can see, it is more clear now because we are using property word and not some I or array where we don't know what we are talking about. And here we want to do exactly the same. Word dot character add 0. So we are getting first element. Here we are using to uppercase, and here we are using plus, and we are taking all other letters with word dot slice, and here is 1. And as you can see, this code is essentially the same. We didn't change it, but it is much more efficient, easier to read, and it shows that you are a more advanced developer. Because here we are not using for loop, but map, which is not that difficult, and here we are just returning for every single word a new word. And it is important here to mention that character add and slice are not mutating functions, which means we are getting new string and we didn't mutate old string. Let's check this out. I am reloading this page and we are getting our array with capitalized strings, which means I forgot at the end to make our join. So here we can simply call our join with space inside. Let's check this out and we are getting exactly the same string. So I highly recommend you on interview to watch your naming, to check that your data types are matched with your names, and make your code easier to read if it is possible.